morning. We're going to talk about the Hierophant today. He is the High Priest. So either you are the Hierophant, maybe you're an ordained minister, maybe you are studying spirituality, you know a spiritual leader who can help you. The main thing is, even if you have none of this, the Hierophant is all about systems. Even in spirituality, there's a certain way of doing things, especially when you get into traditions. Usually the Hierophant is the conservative outlook. So for instance, if you're asking about your relationship and you draw this card, he is saying, don't sleep with him, marry him, do the right thing. You know, this is very conservative. So keep that in mind. Without this conservative backstay, the world would devolve, it would rotate off its axis, people would go crazy. You do sometimes need the older person giving you advice you may not be ready for or may think you don't need, but you do. So pay attention to your dreams right now. They are going to be ripe with symbolism and they're going to be very deep. To access the energy of the Hierophant card, do the right thing. Everyone deep down in their essence knows what the right thing is. Do it, even if it's painful. Ask advice from your own spiritual leader and see if what you are planning jives with what has been done for hundreds of years. Read books on spirituality. Read books on spirituality which have a tradition and a system attached to them that will help you right now. A personality that goes hand in hand with the Hierophant is the grandfather telling ancient stories to his grandchildren.
I want to tell you a story, and it really happened to me. And it's about spirituality, but not the spirituality we know, but the spirituality of the American Indians. You know, the Indians count time by the moons, and many moons ago, before you were born, I had an experience down in Texas. I was unhappy, I was lost, I was depressed, and for some reason, I felt like I needed to start a fire, a sacred fire, that the American Indians used when they did sweats. And they did it beside a sweat lodge. And I happened to know a woman who had was in effect a medicine woman. And she had learned the art of being a medicine woman from real American Indians. And so I asked her if I could be part of a sweat. And she said yes. And she would let me know when she wanted me down there. And a little while later, she called me up here in Connecticut and said she was doing a sweat. And she was doing a cub sweat because that meant that the people in the sweat that she was handling had never gone in a sweat before. And she said she wanted me down there to help with the fire. And I said, well, who is the fire chief? And she said, you are. I said, I've never built a fire before. She said, I'll tell you how to do it. Well, what a fire chief does is he, long before the sweat, he goes down to rivers and he gets river rock. And he builds a fire, and a big one, on top of the river rocks. And so there is a ceremony. And the ceremony is having to do with the 4 cardinal points of the compass. And I found out that north has a color associated which is white. And the animal there that represents that area is the white buffalo. And the white buffalo represents sacrifice and wisdom. And to the east, the color is red, like the sun comes up. And the animal there are eagles, the eagle. And the eagle is a messenger from God. But in the Indian terminology, it's man above. So you have eagles who are bringing messages from man above. And to the south, the color is yellow. And there, the symbol is standing in innocence. And I didn't know what standing in innocence was, but I will tell you later shortly.